Oregon football. Ever since I was a little kid, this has been my team. I'm from Virginia, and my friends are all ACC or SEC football fans. But I liked watching the Ducks because of their fast-paced offense, flashy uniforms, and late-night games. Oregon first became recognized nationally as a top-tier football program at the beginning of this decade. Starting in 2009, the Ducks played in 4 straight BCS bowl games, including the Rose Bowl, Fiesta Bowl, and National Championship game. Thanks to this success, Oregon has had 8 recruiting classes finish in the top 20 nationally this decade. Oregon is able to bring in recruits from across the nation because of the Oregon brand being recognized almost everywhere. A close partnership with Oregon graduate Phil Knight, founder of Nike, has Oregon wearing new jerseys every weekend. The Ducks also have some of the best facilities in college football, which recruits consistently say are some of the best they've ever seen. It's been a crazy decade for Oregon football ever since we burst onto the national spotlight in 2010. I believe that Oregon is creating a culture under Coach Cristobal that will have lots of success in the new decade. But before I get to that, let's take a look at Oregon over the last 10 years and how the program has gotten to where it is today. In 2007, Oregon hired an under-the-radar offensive coordinator named Chip Kelly to take over the offense at Oregon. Kelly wasted no time turning the Ducks' offense around, and immediately a major power shift started in the Pac-12 after Oregon beat USC. The fast-paced, spread offense run by Kelly and the Ducks wore defenses down, and Oregon was putting up 36 points per game by 2009. That year, Oregon took the Pac-10 title from 7-time reigning champs USC. The Ducks also played in college football's most historic bowl game, the Rose Bowl, and even though they lost to Ohio State, the future was bright. The next year in 2010, Oregon surpassed all expectations and scored on average 47 points per game on their way to competing in the national championship, which was narrowly lost on a last-second Auburn field goal. That shouldn't take away from how successful that year was for the Ducks, though. The success continued, with Oregon winning the Rose Bowl in 2011, Fiesta Bowl in 2012, and Alamo Bowl in 2013. In 2014, Oregon returned to the national championship game after destroying Florida State in the Rose Bowl playoff. The Ducks once again came up short, as Ohio State's offensive weapons proved too much to handle. The beatdown Oregon took from Ohio State was the end of an era for Oregon. 2 years later, in 2016, the Ducks went 4-8 and were on the decline. What went wrong for Oregon? One main reason for the abrupt fall of Oregon football was the departure of head coach Chip Kelly to take a job in the NFL. While Kelly's replacement, Mark Helfrich, was a talented offensive mind, something was not there, as the Ducks lost 7 conference games in 2016. Most of the blame for these losses has to fall on the Ducks' defense, because they were terrible. It was disgusting to watch. 2 separate defensive coordinators had a chance to fix Oregon's defense, and both failed miserably. The Ducks were ranked 116th out of 127 teams in total defense, while simultaneously having the 5th best offense in the nation. It was frustrating to see the Ducks' era brought to an end because of the horrible defense. Head coach Mark Helfrich was fired at the end of the season, and things began to turn once again in Oregon's favor. Willie Taggart was head coach for a year before he left to take the job at Florida State, where he completely fluked. In came Coach Mario Cristobal, the players' coach, who was responsible for Oregon's recent successes. Coach Cristobal has proven to be an excellent recruiter for the Ducks. He landed the #1 recruiting class in the Pac-12 back-to-back years now. The Ducks also had the 7th best recruiting class in the nation in 2019, which featured 5-star defensive end Kayvon Thibodeau. A Pac-12 title and Rose Bowl win over Wisconsin round out Mario Cristobal's accomplishments. I think he is bringing a toughness and culture to Oregon, driven by his own experiences around SEC programs Georgia and Alabama. Oregon starts the new decade at home against Ohio State, which is going to be a great game and a rematch of the 2014 National Championship. I'm excited to see what the next few years bring for the Ducks. Hopefully our first college football championship. Thank you for sticking around to the end of my first video. If you liked what you saw, please consider subscribing and dropping a like. I'll see you all in the next one.